Did you know that the average wedding in Indiana cost $31,996 in 2018? I'm Raymond Hatfield, a wedding photographer here in Indianapolis, and today I'm going to show you how to best budget for your wedding so that you don't start off your marriage in crippling debt. So let's get back to that $32,000 elephant in the room. How do you pay for something like that? Well, the first step is that you need a budget. Plain and simple. But don't worry, because what we talk about today isn't just going to be save. I'm going to give you some practical tips that will help put you in control and help you plan a personally fulfilling and fun wedding day. Creating a wedding budget consists of 3 parts. How much money you and your fiance have saved or have access to, how much you can save before your wedding day, and how much help family and loved ones have determined that they can contribute financially. Now, just do your best to come up with a figure here, even if it's a ballpark. That's totally fine for now. The first step for you and your fiance is to start the process together. It's your wedding just as much as it is theirs, and this is a great way to work on a large project together as a team. Now, for a wedding, you only need 2 things to get married: an officiant and a location. Everything else is extra. So sit down and make a list of everything that you want at your wedding. Start off this list with by each naming one must-have that will make your day extra special and memorable. Now, this might be a live band or an open bar, or it could be a special dress or a photo booth at your reception. Don't spend too much time here because there is a good chance that the deeper that you get into wedding planning, that may change. Something like a specific venue or the perfect wedding photographer. Pro tip, use Google Docs or Trello to keep notes, to-do lists, and even your budget. And then you can share access with your significant other so that you can collaborate and keep each other updated. Next, start with your list of wants, right? Ceremony, decoration, flowers, dress, attire, reception, etc. Just then do some quick research, no more than 20 minutes on each, just to gauge a price, right? Pinterest will help come up with fun ideas, and then Google will help you looking for local venues, because a wedding venue in New York City will cost much more than a wedding venue here in Indiana. But on average, a dress and attire account for 10% of your wedding budget. The ceremony will account for 15% of your wedding budget. Decorations and flowers, also 15%. Photography and videography, 20%. The reception, 35%. And then 5% of your wedding budget should just be miscellaneous charges like uncorking fees or setup and teardown fees. Now, these numbers are just averages and can obviously be adjusted to fit your wedding and your personalities. Because if you don't need a videographer for your wedding, then you can just cut the budget and reapply it somewhere else. Now, take that number that you came up with earlier for your budget and apply those percentages to it. Now, you have a ballpark on what you will be spending on certain aspects of your wedding day. Next, start booking vendors. Book those most important to you first, so that if the prices of the vendors differ from what you budgeted, then you can adjust on the non-essentials. Now, typically, wedding venues and photographers get booked first within the first 2 to 3 months of the engagement. The venue first, because if it's really important to you, it can predicate your wedding date. So once you have a venue locked in, you can start hiring other vendors depending on their availability. So spend the most of your time in the beginning planning process focused on booking them. And then once you have booked everything else will fall into place, honestly. And that's how you get started with a wedding budget. Now, if you are getting overwhelmed at any point by budgeting, there are a lot of options that can help keep your wedding from just getting out of control. Things like editing down your guest list. You know, according to that $32,000 number, the average wedding guest costs you $237. So cut down your guest list by 4 or 5 people and you have just saved yourself a good chunk of money. You can also pick a different venue. Choose a DJ over a live band, or for serious savings, you can get married on a Monday. At the end of the day, your wedding is about joining your life with the person who you love most. So remind yourself that. Take a step back, take a deep breath, and remember, that no matter what decisions you make, you're still getting married to your best friend. I'm Raymond Hatfield, a wedding photographer right here in Indianapolis for couples who value fun, relaxed, and timeless wedding photography. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. That's it for today. I'll talk to you soon.